the immoral trafficking in human beings in historical sense. So that's how we have to resort to history to understand. When we speak of exploitation, immoral traffic, etc., we have to go for this type. That is the first level, lowest level of abstraction while interpreting the Constitution, that is author's hypothetical intent, wherein this person, interpreter, is stepping into the shoes of the Constitution makers and is interpreting it. The second level of abstraction is the purpose of a reasonable man. The purpose of a reasonable man. When I have to interpret the Constitution, I should not just step into the shoes of the Constitution makers. I should go one step ahead. What a reasonable man will think of. What a reasonable person will read it to me. Okay. So we turn to the imaginary figure of reasonable person. Okay. So here the interpreter inquires into the purpose that the Constitution maker would have envisioned had they behaved as a reasonable person. So what is happening is the interpreter is replacing the author of the text of the Constitution with a reasonable person. And he will give that meaning which a reasonable person would have given. So, in fact, the interpreter puts himself in the position of the reasonable author, trying to understand the relevant constitutional provision in its natural environment. How a reasonable person will read these provisions and how he will understand these provisions. For example, we have developed, right, starting from the case of R.C. Cooper versus Union of India and culminating in Maneka Gandhi, we have started this experiment of reading fundamental rights together. Okay, and we have come out with the doctrine of harmonious construction between the fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Harmonious construction between the different entries that are there, legislative entries, state legislative and 27th schedule. So this is the second level of objective abstraction, that is the purpose. First one is author's hypothetical intent. Second is purpose of a reasonable man. Third level of abstraction comes purpose derived from the type and nature of the text. Don't bother about anything. Focus on the nature, the type of the text. What is written there in the text, that is the Constitution. This is the third highest level of abstraction. So here the interpreter disengages himself, divorces himself from the individual constitution makers and also from the given constitution itself. The interpreter asks not what purpose ought to be attributed by the reasonable constitution makers, but he asks what typical purpose characterizes a certain kind of constitution. He looks at the type and nature of legal institutions in question. So what is happening at the third level is, he is not looking through the eyes of the constitution makers. He is not looking through the eyes of the reasonable man. He is divorcing both of them. He disengages from both of them. And now what he is looking at is, he is looking at the nature of the Constitution, the legal institutions that are there in question. And this interpreter draws his inspiration from the level of abstraction, from the ideas and concepts, the culture and the legal tradition to which the given legal system belongs. The question arises whether there can be a single party democracy in India. That is not possible. Because we are not a communistic country where a single party democracy can be there, election can be there. No. This is a pluralistic situation. Multi-party system is there. It cannot become a single party. The responsible opposition is needed. And for the vibrant functioning of our democracy, opposition is very much essential. See, we are not a communistic country, and any interpreter cannot think in terms of one party system through law. Can we be like former Soviet Russia or China, wherein there will be administration of justice only by the administrative courts, as it was there in procuracy? There were procurators at the local level, there was a procurator general at the national level for the purpose of dispensation of justice in the former Soviet Russia. Whether such a system can come? No, such a system cannot come in this country, because our legal institution is a system wherein we have independent judiciary. We have adopted adversarial system, here and there sprinkling inquisitorial, but we have not subscribed to that continental inquisitorial system of administration of justice. Okay. So they look into the culture and the legal tradition to which our legal system, Indian legal system, belongs to a particular type of legal system. We are a democratic country. We are a representative democracy. We are an Anglo-Saxon system. We are based on adversarial process, etc. And we have created a domain of liberty which cannot be suspended in any situation. So that is how in the third level of abstraction, the interpreter will get divorced from the constitution maker and also from the reasonable man, and he will look to the legal culture and tradition to which our legal system belongs and interprets the constitution. The fourth level of abstraction is derived from the system's fundamental principles. This level, fourth level, highest level of abstraction, highest level of democracy, this engages in the discovery of objective purpose, which can be derived from fundamental values of the system. Here, the interpreter consults the legal system's general values. Okay. They express these fundamental values, express society's basic stand, basic position about the human rights, about separation of power, about democracy, about the rule of law. It is not always that easy to grasp fundamental principles, because fundamental principles of a different legal system will be different. Okay? And when we read a constitution will not come with a booklet wherein a list of basic values, principles are listed. And these basic values and principles are sprinkled throughout the text of the Constitution. Maybe they are stated in between the lines, and they are to be deciphered. The ethical principles like justice, morality, fairness, good faith, human rights. Societal objectives like preservation of the state, its democratic character, public peace, tranquility, security, rule of law, separation of powers, independence of judiciary, consistency, harmonious construction, all these things. Then patterns of behavior, okay? Ethical principles, social objectives, patterns of behavior, behaving like a real, concepts like reasonableness, fairness, good faith, etc. So, by looking at these things, the interpreter will go for